Okay, we're still working on problem 5-2A, pages 256 and 257. And we'll start back now with the 19th. Sold merchandise on account to Vista Company, $8,250. Terms FOB shipping point, which means the buyer pays shipping charges, so we're not concerned with those. We're the seller. We offer the buyer a 2% discount to pay within 10 days. Otherwise, the full amount's due in 30 days. So you guys, it's a shipping point contract. The buyer is supposed to pay shipping charges, but notice this next sentence. Added $75 to the invoice for prepaid freight. It's a shipping point contract. The buyer is responsible for shipping charges. But in this case, we, the seller, paid the shipping charges for them, and we're going to add that to what they owe us. Cost of merchandise sold was $5,000. So we're going to debit accounts receivable, Vista Company, for purchase price sales price $82.50 plus the $75 in shipping that they were supposed to pay. We paid it for them, and we're adding that to their bill, so they're going to pay us those shipping charges back. So our debit to accounts receivable is for, I'm sorry, $83.25. Was that a mistake? Let's try it again. I picked up the wrong number here. Equals. You guys, here's the problem. They're going to take care of this in 2 entries. I would prefer to do it in 1, but we'll do it in 2. Okay, first they just recorded the sale itself. So they debited accounts receivable. You'll see in a second how it would work in 1. They debited accounts receivable Vista Company for $82.50. And then they're going to credit sales to increase the revenue account for $82.50. Okay, but now they have to take care of the transportation charges. Well, Vista Company is going to owe us that $75. That's part of what they owe. So we're going to debit accounts receivable Vista Company for the $75. See, we could have done that in 1 entry. We could have added this one to this one and just debited accounts receivable Vista Company 1 time for $83.25. Credited sales for $82.50. And then we paid those shipping charges, so we would credit cash for $75. They divided it into 2 entries. To me, it would have been easier to handle in 1. Again, to do it in 1, you would have debited accounts receivable Vista Company for $83.25. And then the credit to sales and the credit to cash would have remained the same amounts, all in 1 entry. Okay, also, anytime we make a sale, we have to record the increase in cost of merchandise sold, our new expense account, $5,000. And we're going to record the reduction in inventory by credit to merchandise inventory. Remember, assets decrease on the credit side. Okay, next on the 26th, issued check for amount due from Target Company for the sale on the 16th, less credit memo of the 18th and discount. Okay, they're paying us, so we know we're going to receive cash. Okay, how much cash are we going to receive? Well, it's going to be equal to, let's go back up. The original sale to Target Company was for $27,500. But they didn't keep all of that. They returned, $4,800 worth? So let's come back down. It's equal to $27,500 minus $4,800 times how much of a discount did we offer them? 1%, 0.01. So what we did, we took the original sales price, $27,500, from the 16th minus the return at the sales price, $4,800, from the 18th, and then we multiplied by 1% the amount of discount offered back on the 16th. Well, that formula didn't work. I'll tell you what, let's come over here and do it. This goes with March 26th. Okay, so let's just put the numbers in here. The original sale the sale was for $27,500. We're going to subtract out the return was for $4,800. Let's make it look neat. Okay, so this is going to be equal to $27,500 minus our return of $4,800. Gets us to $22,700 times 0.01. And this will give us the amount of the discount. Equals $22,700 times 0.01. Now this, I hope this makes sense. You guys see, we're not going to give the customer a discount on the full $27,500 because they returned $4,800 worth. So we're only going to give them a discount on what they kept, right? Or now to get the amount of cash that they'll pay us, it will be equal to the $22,700 minus the $227,000. And this will be cash received equals $22,700 minus $227,000. 227, remember that's the name of a once popular television show. For you older students, I remember it. Probably younger ones will not. Maybe reruns. Anyway, that's beside the point. Let's go back over what we did here. The sale was for $27,500. We subtracted out the return, multiplied by 1% to get the amount of the discount. Then we subtracted that from the $22,700 to get cash received. So we're going to debit cash for $22,473. Okay, we're going to debit our contra revenue account sales discounts to increase its balance by the amount of the discount itself, which was $227. Now, what are we going to credit? Well, accounts receivable Vista Company, was it Vista? No, accounts receivable Targi Company needs to come off the books. It went on the books as a debit, has to come off the books as a credit, but we'll notice we've already decreased its balance by $4,800. The accounts receivable debit balance going into the 26th is $22,700. So we're going to credit accounts receivable Targi Company for $22,700. The asset decreases on the credit side. There we go. Okay, on the 28th, received check for amount due from Vista Company for the sale on the 19th. Okay. Let's do those calculations over here as well. All right, this is for March 28th. Okay, we're going to receive the check on the 28th, but let's refer back to the 18th when we made the, or excuse me, we're going to receive the check from Vista Company on the 28th. Let's refer back to the 19th when we made the sale to Vista Company for $82.50. That's the amount of the sale. Okay, now how much of a discount did we offer them? It was 2%. See the 2/10 back on the 19th. Okay, so the discount would be equal to $82.50 times 0.02, $165. And we'll take the $82.50 and subtract the $165. Was $82.50 minus the discount of $165. Gets us $8,085. That's going to be cash received from the credit customer, right? Okay, so we're going to debit cash for $8,085. Oh wait, what's the problem here? Looking back to the 19th. We got to take into account the transportation charges. Let's go back. Okay, this number is incorrect. Okay. All right, now we calculate the discount, the sales price times 2%. We're not going to give them a discount on the transportation charges. But remember, we debited accounts receivable Vista for the $82.50 plus the $75 in two separate entries. It's really why I like the one entry better. You can look back up and just pick up that one number. Here we debited accounts receivable Vista Company for $82.50 plus $75. So our debit to accounts receivable Vista Company is for $83.25, which is what we'll subtract the discount from. $83.25 minus our discount of $165 will get us cash received of $81.60. So let's talk about that again. That's a little bit confusing. You take the sale itself times the discount rate, right? The sale is coming from the 19th. Vista Company, $82.50 was the amount of the sale. 2% discount gets us to a discount of $165. But you have to subtract that from the total that Vista Company owes us. Well, if you look back over here, the total owed to us by Vista Company is the $82.50 plus the $75. So that's $83.25 minus the discount gets us cash received of $81.60. Sorry for that. So we'll debit cash to increase the asset for $81.60. We'll debit sales discounts, the contra revenue account, to increase its balance by the amount of the discount. Was that $165? Yes. And then we'll credit accounts receivable Vista Company. Now this is a little tricky. It's not for the $82.50 and it's not for the $75. It's for both, because both debts have now been wiped out. So we'll credit accounts receivable Vista Company for the total of those two, equal to $82.50 plus the $75, or $83.25, which is the amount we subtracted from the discount from over here. Okay. All right, you guys, we'll wrap up this problem in the next video. Thanks.